Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, now here I am with another Christmas review, and like I said, now that I've gotten through the stuff leading to Spider-Man No Way Home, now that I've talked about Spider-Man No Way Home, now I'll just continue on with the Christmas reviews, and I'll just continue them up until Christmas this Saturday. So for my next Christmas review, next up, this is going to be a review for the 1998 movie Jack Frost. So this is a movie that I actually have really wanted to talk about. Like I wanted to make a review for this during every year when I do Christmas reviews. I've wanted to do this for several years, but I've just never gotten around to doing it. I guess it's just because I I was never really able to get this movie on DVD or anything. So I guess just since I never did get it on DVD, I just never could actually watch it to get the chance to talk about it. But yeah, I've seen that it is on HBO Max now, and I did watch it. So now I am actually able to make a review for this movie. Right. But before I actually get started talking about anything about this film, like I said, I just now I'm done talking about Spider-Man No Way. I'm well, yeah, I'm done with everything talking leading up to everything with me talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. And I did talk about Spider-Man No Way Home in my last video. I did give my thoughts on the movie. So you can go watch that if you want to. But yeah, I realized after I recorded the video giving my thoughts on the movie, there were a couple of more things that I did want to talk about. I tried to make another video, just a small little video to talk about that stuff, but I don't have it didn't have it listed in my videos. I just kind of included it in the description of that video. So yeah, and I'm sure that probably none of you even actually did a click the link to watch that video. So I figured I would just make this video. Well, yeah, in this video I would just kind of talk about those things I was talking about again. So just so more people can actually watch, can listen to it now. So yeah, so I am gonna be this is gonna include a little bit more spoilers about Spider-Man No Way Home. So, well, yeah, I should say that this is gonna contain some spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home. So if you haven't seen the video, if you haven't seen the movie yet, yeah, if you don't want to listen to spoilers, I'll have the timestamp in the video of which you can skip through the spoilers and just cut to when I start talking about Jack Frost. Yeah, all right. So like I said, you can go watch my last video with me giving my thoughts on Spider-Man No Way Home. I did talk about a lot in that video, so yeah, but like I said, there's just a couple more things I do want to talk about. So if you have seen the movie now, you do know that the rumors were true that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were in the movie. And I did say how in the movie they do a fight, they do help Tom Holland fight the other enemies to help just cure them and to just restore them to their regular humanoid form. And at one point as they were fighting with Electro trying to cure him, a Doc Ock actually arrived to help them. Something that I just really just something that just really did just get me kind of teary eyed I a little bit was just there's that moment after they do cure Electro, and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man does like does arrive to talk to Doc Ock, and then you just Doc Ock actually does ask Peter, and during this part you do hear the Danny Elfman score for the theme from the Sam Raimi movies playing during this part. I did mention in my No Way Home video that they did actually include some tracks from both the Raimi movies and the Amazing Spider-Man movies. And just listening to that, just hearing the Sam Raimi theme song play, and just just hearing Doc Ock just saying Peter with, and then you see just Toby unmasking, and then they just reunite. Just something about that moment just did get me a little bit teary eyed. I really don't know why. I mean, I don't know if it's just being so nostalgic because I do love the Raimi movies and I grew up watching them. Just to just see these two just interact like that again, and just hearing just Doc Ock say Peter with the theme song from the Raimi movies playing again. I don't know. There's something about it that just really did just get me like a little choked up watching it. So yeah, so that is just like that is something that like this movie really did do. I don't know if it was just like a nostalgic feel or what, but just yeah, when I just saw that moment, it did like get me a little choked up. Yeah, there were like some clips like people have been like a post uploading on YouTube of the movie. Like they actually did like a film it when they saw it in the theater, and yeah, and I have actually like gone back to watching that, and yeah, and it still just does get me choked up just like seeing that moment. I don't know why, but yeah, it's something about it just really does get me like choked up. Like I said, I don't know if it's like nostalgia or what it is, but yeah, just something about that moment. It just really did just like strike a chord with me, and yeah, it was just like yeah, something that I just yeah, there's not really been anything like that in a Spider-Man movie that really has hit me, and so yeah, that is just like one of the great things about this movie. Just it really did give people like a lot of like nostalgic feel just to see like the stuff with like the characters in the previous series with the Raimi movies and the Amazing movies just interacting again with each other. So yeah, so I guess that might just be the reason why it just like really did struck a chord with me because it was just like something about it just felt like so just like so amazing to see like Tobey Maguire and Alfred Molina as a Spider-Man and Doc Ock again, and them actually talking to each other, and Doc Ock just like calling Peter that it was actually his Peter. So yeah, yeah, so yeah, that's just like I never really have gotten that feel in a Spider-Man movie before, or yeah. And yeah, and something else I do want to say, it's something like regarding the Amazing Spider-Man movies. So yeah, so if you saw my reviews for the two Amazing Spider-Man movies, like I did say like how I really don't like the movies, and yeah, and they just really come off as cash grabs because yeah, of course like if those were only made so Sony could really keep the right to Spider-Man, and that was really like how they did always come off to me. But after seeing this movie, this like I knew actually kind of like it did actually make me kind of change the way I feel about the Amazing Spider-Man movies now. While I still don't like the movies, I will say that now I'm more accepting of them. Now that this film was made, how it did include like Andrew Garfield and just like some of the other characters from the Amazing Spider-Man movies in here. I do like now that this film is made, how it does like have this multiverse concept, it does like give like more of a purpose for the two Amazing Spider-Man movies to exist. So yeah, so while I still don't like the movies, I guess I am more accepting of them now. Now that they can at least like serve this whole multiverse stuff gives them more of a purpose to exist. So yeah, now like I am like more accepting of the Amazing Spider-Man movies now. So yeah, so I guess like this did at least like do that for the Amazing Spider-Man movies, not make them so not there. So now they're not really just like money grubbing, money grubbing for Sony to retain the rights. They yeah, like I said, just now this like gives them more of a purpose to exist. So yeah. Yeah, so they did. So that is something that this did do for the Amazing Spider-Man movies. So yeah, okay. So yeah, but anyway, all right. Okay, so now on to Jack Frost. All right. So yeah, so this movie was released in 1998, and yeah, and when this movie was released, this movie really did not receive much love. I mean, yeah, critics nor audiences were not very pleased with it. On Rotten Tomatoes, this only has a 19% on the tomato meter and a 40% audience score. Yeah, so I guess I can understand like why people really don't feel very big about this movie because yeah, this movie like I get it. Like the movie really is not anything too that special. Like yeah, the yeah just yeah the the script is really not done all that well. Like the writing really isn't very good in the movie, and yeah, and it just really is like just yeah, the story is not written all that well, and yeah, and it just is like very very slow because yeah, of course, like if you've seen this movie, like you do know how it really is about a snowman that is alive, but yeah, the thing about this movie is that it really just takes too long to really get to the snowman, because yeah, it's like it takes like about like a, I think at least 40 minutes for us to actually see the snowman alive. So yeah, so it really just is very slow, and it really just takes too long to get to the snowman. And even then, like the stuff with the snowman really is just not very interesting. And yeah, but yeah, this movie, like what I was, well, yeah, when I did like a, like the setup for the movie, I really don't think is that bad, because yeah, what the movie really is about is it's about a father that like ends up dying in a car accident, and then a year later, like his son like magically ends up bringing him back to life, and his spirit is actually he transferred into a snowman, and so he is like he is actually like alive through a snowman. So yeah, so the premise of that really isn't that bad. Like like the dead father like coming back to life inside of a snowman. I actually did think that that was kind of a clever idea. Like I'm sure like this kind of the story has been done before, where a somebody has died, but then they end up bringing back, like they do end up like their spirit like is still like present, and they are actually like still like communicating with their child or whatever. Never. So yeah, so I'm sure that like this story, this setup has been done before, but not really in this way, where it's like they're like inside of a snowman. So yeah, so I actually did think that it was a kind of a clever concept. Yeah. I remember like when I was a little kid, like I didn't really like watch this movie all that much, because yeah, when I did see the snowman, I was like kind of creeped out by it, and I know that I'm really not alone in that. A lot of other people have really said that the snowman kind of creeped them out too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then yeah, I did finally like watch this movie, and yeah, and after like everything I did, like I just talked about, like how it's slow and everything, while that stuff is a factor, I gotta say that I don't really think this movie is as bad as a lot of people say it is. I mean, yeah, it's not really. I don't know if I would actually go far to say that it's a good movie, because, yeah, there is a lot of stuff that really doesn't work about it. But quite frankly, I don't know. I think I just kind of like have a soft spot for this, because, yeah, when the father does end up dying, you do see like how much it really does affect the son, because like when it does cut to a year after the father died, like you just see like how much it has affected the son, because yeah, he's just like very depressed, and he's just like sad and all this stuff, how he really isn't reacting with his friends, and even like the bullies don't find it fun to pick on him anymore, because yeah, he's just like so depressed, like he doesn't even like complain about anything the bullies do to him. So yeah, so so it really has like affected him very bad, and even the mother is noticing like how much it's affected him too. Yeah, and then there's the scene where he does like end up building a snowman that does actually have a resemblance to his father, and I don't know, I goes something about it. It really just like gives me kind of like a soft spot. I guess it's like because like I just really have like a very good relationship with my dad, and I just like am looking at this like kind of like picturing myself in the situation. Like if something like this would happen to my dad, I feel that I would probably be acting the same way. I think it would really just yeah, it really would just like totally bring me down, and I really wouldn't be the same. I think I would just like be so depressed I wouldn't even be the same person. Yeah, and of course like losing a parent, like that is like a very hard, and especially like if you lose a parent as a child, it really does like really hit you a lot more. Like you really are more hurt by it. Like if you lose your parent like when you're already like fully grown, like if a parent just dies from old age, it really doesn't like really as affect you that much, because you know they're getting old. Even like if you're just like in your like 20s or something, like basically like the age I'm at right now, like even if you like lost a parent like at that time, it really doesn't like really hit you as hard, because like like you're already like fully grown, and the parent has already raised you and everything. But when you do it when you're just a child, like if you're still like growing up, like if a parent does die like when you're still growing up, that is really like where it affects you because the parent is still like raising you and they're supposed to be like part of your life and just yeah and knowing that like they'll be gone and you'll never see them again, like they won't be around to raise you anymore. That is really like what could really like just really just be devastating, and it could really just like make a make a child very distraught if they lose a parent out of and as they're still growing up. So yeah, so you really do understand the son's pain and sadness is when just like when his father dies. So I don't know. I guess I just do like kind of like really like sympathize with the son because of just like while the dad is like busy because like when the movie starts we do see like he is like a busy person because he's like trying to like as the movie starts, like the father is like a musician and he's in a band and he's trying to hit a record deal, but his it hasn't hit one yet. And it just shows like how like he's spending a lot of time with the band and not really like paying enough attention to his family, and that is really what is getting to him. And then and yeah, then when he does like realize his mistakes, that is just like when it all like it ends for him. Like he tries to go back to his family, but yeah, he gets in an accident and that's it. So yeah, so yeah, the father like is kind of like it is like kind of like one of those stories where it is like a father that is just like very work obsessed, but he then like realizes his mistakes. But now to the film's credit, like it doesn't like do something like it does with like a lot of other things where it takes the father like such a long time to like learn that he's like not paying enough attention to his family. Not like what I like in Casper: A Spirited Beginning with Chris's dad. Yeah, the father does like realize it early on, like relatively early in the movie. So we don't like really spend the whole movies like seeing like how like just with the dad doing this yeah and then yeah then like I said like the son does like end up like reviving his father magically, and then yeah then like then we do see eventually how like the father is really like trying to correct the stuff with his son to just do the things to his son that he didn't do while he was alive. Yeah, now it's not really like all like it's not really like entertaining for the most part. Like some stuff, like you just feel like it is kind of boring because there's not really like anything, like all that much interesting stuff that's happening with the father and the son when the father is the snowman. But when you do get to the end, you do like kind of like see like what it does kind of like really like you do see like what the message really is like when the father does end up like leaving because the it's not really with like the father like coming back to life like what the message of the film I guess is really just saying like even like when a parent and dies they still will be in your presence in one form or another. So I guess that really is like the message that this movie is really trying to send. And so while like the film really is not that well paced and it's not very well written, and the problems are very present with the movie that it is understandable. I guess like just because of the relationship I have with my dad, like I just do kind of like have a bit of a soft spot for the movie. So I don't really know if I would actually like really recommend watching this, but all I can say is that if you do have like a good relationship with your parent, like if you were to think about something that if something were to ever happen to them, like if you're just like really missing the in your parent, I guess this could be like a film for you to check out so you can like really like learn that even that the parent is not like physically there with you anymore, they are still in your presence in one form or another. So I guess I would give this film probably like a mm, I guess I would give it around like a I don't know 2.25 stars out of 4. All right. Yeah. All right. So I guess I'll just talk about the premise of the movie. All right. So as the film opens up, like it stars a Michael Keaton, and his name actually is Jack Frost. So I thought it was clever that like they, rather than like just like doing like something like corny like just like name it after Jack Frost or something like like his name actually is Jack Frost. Yeah, it shows that he like is in a band, and yeah, and it shows that like they do like perform like blues covers, and there's a like popular songs like it shows like that he does like open up the film singing Frosty the Snowman. Yeah, it's like a blues cover of Frosty the Snowman. Yeah, yeah, and then it shows that like he does actually have a family. There's his wife Gabby and his 11-year-old son Charlie. Yeah, and yeah, and then it shows how Jack is like really like a bonding with Charlie. Like even though like he is like always like with his band, like it does show that he is still like still wanting to balance out that with his family life. So it's not something like where he's like just a workaholic and really just like neglecting his family. Like it shows that he does care about his family, but he's just like really like not really like paying like as much attention as he should be because he just really does want to get a record deal. Yeah, yeah, and then and, and at one point then Jack ended up like giving Charlie his harmonica, which yeah, he explained to Charlie how he actually got the harmonica the day Charlie was born, and he was jokingly telling him that it was magical and he'll be able to hear it wherever he is. Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, and it shows that Charlie is part of a little league hockey team, and no Mighty Ducks reference, please. Yeah, and it shows how Jack like promised that he would actually be at an upcoming hockey game for Charlie, but it shows that like he was like spending time actually just recording a new hit song and ended up missing Charlie's game. Yeah, yeah, and of course like Gabby and Charlie were not happy about Jack like missing Charlie's game. So then Jack then just wanted to make it up to the two of them, and he wanted to just take them up to the mountains for a trip for Christmas. So the film really isn't like actually like totally about Christmas, but it it does like take place during like Christmas time because yeah, of course like with it like being about a snowman that tells you that it is set in the winter time, but yeah, it is also like it does take place like during Christmas time, even though like it's not really like set around Christmas. Like yeah, there's nothing really like any sort of like actual Christmas story about it. It just takes place during Christmas time. Yeah, and as they were getting ready to go up to the mountains, then like Jack ended up like getting a call about a gig for his band that could like really be like the big point of his career. It could either make or break his career. But yeah, it ended up like meaning that like Jack would have to go and actually miss being with Gabby and Charlie for Christmas. Yeah, and yeah, then after that, then Charlie was just so disappointed about his dad missing Christmas with him that he just ended up giving Jack the harmonica back, saying that he didn't want it. Then yeah, then as Jack and his band were then heading towards the gig, then Jack then ended up realizing his mistake, and he just decided that he wasn't going to live this life anymore, and he was going to be with his family for Christmas. Yeah. So then Jack then started to um drive up to the mountains to be with Gabby and Charlie. But then, as he was driving, like he ended up getting caught in a really bad snowstorm, and the windshield wipers ended up uh, just not working. So then Jack then and just like was like unable to navigate through the roads, and then then he ended up just swerving, and then bam. Yeah, but it didn't actually like show the crash or anything. Like it just ended up like fading to black. So yeah, so we didn't actually see like the car crashing or Jack dying or anything. But yeah, but you knew what happened. Yeah, Yeah. Then I cut to a year later, and it shows that due to his dad's death, Charlie was just like very depressed all the time, and just was not talking with his friends. He quit hockey. Like he was just like very, he just sad and depressed. Yeah. Yeah. And then then one night, then Charlie then ended up making a snowman that had a really big resemblance to his dad. Even like put on like his dad's hat and scarf on the snowman, and made like and put like a like sticks on for arms, and just making it like resemble his dad as much as he could. Yeah, yeah, and then as a Charlie was laying in bed that night, then he ended up playing his dad's harmonica again. But then, then it showed that the harmonica really was magical, and it ended up reviving Jack, and it showed that his spirit ended up being brought back and was transferred into the snowman. Yeah, and so then, then Jack then just saw that he was home, and he tried to call for Charlie to open the door. But then, then when Charlie looked out the window and he saw the snowman, of course, like at first, like he was very creeped out by it and just screaming. Yeah, and then we got like some like hijinks with Jack as a snowman, with him falling over, getting plowed by a snowplow, and all this stuff. And then he ended up like reassembling himself, and just like all the like usual like jokes like this. Yeah. Yeah. Then the next day, then Jack then tried to talk to Charlie again, but Charlie was still freaked out. And then, and like at one point, as like the bullies, which were led by this kid named Rory, were like starting to throw snowballs at Charlie. Then Jack then was starting to pelt Rory and the other kids with snowballs, and then like Rory and the other boys then went after Charlie, and then Jack then helped Charlie escape on a sled. Then Charlie then started to talk to Jack some more, really not believing that like it was his dad, even though like Jack was really trying to tell Charlie that. But then once Jack then called Charlie Boy, which was like the nickname that Jack gave Charlie. Then that's when Charlie then realized that it really was his dad as the snowman. Yeah. And then like then from this point on, like pretty much like Jack and Charlie were really like reconnecting with each other. There, but Jack like didn't want Gabby to actually see him as a snowman, and so Jack like didn't actually like reveal himself to Gabby. Like whenever Gabby would be around, he would just be like standing still like a regular snowman. And yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Jack ended up like giving Charlie some hockey lessons, which was something that he did promise to do when he was alive. So Jack was basically just like doing like everything with Charlie that he promised Charlie that he would do, but he never did. Then like when Charlie then just told Jack that he no longer played hockey, Jack then just convinced Charlie to rejoin the team. And and so then that's when Charlie did, and then Charlie then was then like played good in the next hockey game. And then showed that like Jack actually did attend the game. Like he ended up just was actually like he actually like took a sled to the game, which he used like the family dog. He used like their the family dog. What was the dog's name? Chester. Chester was the dog's name. So Jack like took a sled that Chester pulled towards Charlie's hockey game. And it also like showed that the temperatures were starting to pick up, and so Jack was like the snow was starting to melt, and Jack was like worried that he could melt. But he was able to make it to the hockey game when he saw Charlie make the winning goal for his team. Yeah. Yeah, and then then afterwards, then as Charlie realized that his dad was melting, Charlie was just like refusing to lose his dad again. So then Charlie decided that since it was colder up in the mountains, he had to get a Jack up there. So yeah, so first like Charlie tried to convince his mom to take him up there. He tried to tell his mom that his dad was the snowman, but yeah, of course, like at first Gabby didn't believe him. Yeah, so then yeah, Charlie just ran and just and like ended up trying to think of a way that he could get his dad up to the mountains. And then after uh, Rory then like approached Charlie, then he was like starting to like just like make fun of Charlie and the snowman, just asking which one's more stupid. But then yeah, then Jack then revealed to Rory he was alive after he like corrected Rory. Yeah, and then yeah, then Charlie explained to Rory what the situation was, and yeah, he just said that how he wanted to get his dad up to the mountain so he doesn't lose him, and yeah, Rory like knew like how Charlie would feel without a dad because Rory like said at one point in the movie that he never actually did meet his dad, so yeah, he realized like he understood like how Charlie was feeling, and so he then ended like agreed to help Charlie get Jack up to the mountains, saying that snow dad is better than no dad. So he helped Charlie load Jack onto a truck that was en route to the mountain. So then, yeah, Jack and Charlie then eventually ended up arriving up at the cabin, up at the mountains, and was staying at inside of a cabin that they were actually going to stay at. Head for the trip that Jack was planning earlier on, yeah. And then when they arrived at the cabin, as Jack cover put Charlie to bed, he then ended up calling Gabby and was just like telling Gabby that Charlie was up at the cabin and she should come up and get him. And then yeah, Gabby then like recognized Jack's voice, so she knew that it was him. And then that's when she realized that Charlie was telling the truth. Yeah. And then the next morning on Christmas, his yeah as Jack was outside, Charlie then ran out and just said Merry Christmas to his dad. But then, yeah, Jack then just explained to Charlie that he had to leave because it will eventually like get warm. Like winter won't be forever, and Jack will end up eventually melting. So he just like explained to Charlie that he had to go back. And Charlie at first, of course, like didn't want Jack to leave because he wanted uh his dad to still be with him. But then, yeah, then Jack then just explained to Charlie that he will always be with him in his side of his heart. Yeah, and yeah, then he just was saying to Charlie that if Charlie ever needs him, to just call him. So so I'm just so I don't know exactly like if this is meaning that if like because he was saying that call him with the harmonica. I don't know if this is meaning that whenever Charlie does play the harmonica, Jack will be back in some sort of form. Yeah, but yeah, the movie never actually really like actually reveals whether or not that is the case. But yeah, I'm just presuming that is like how it works. Similar to like how in the Santa Claus, how Charlie like all he has to do to see his dad is shake the snow globe. I'm guessing this is kind of a similar thing. I don't know. It doesn't really explain it, but that's just what I'm presuming. Then Gabby then arrived to see Jack and Charlie together, and then Jack then ended up saying goodbye to Charlie and Gabby. But yeah, before he actually did leave, like he Jack dissipated from the snowman form and showed that it was like a like his like he like a returned to his humanoid form and humanoid form or as yeah he he got like his original human body, like he transformed into that in an ethereal form. Yeah, then he was just like saying goodbye to Gabby as well, just saying how he loved her and missed her. And yeah, he just told the Charlie and Gabby that he'll always be with them wherever he goes. Then he gave his love to both Gabby and Charlie, then just returned back to his afterlife. Yeah. Then the movie ended by showing how Charlie was now like um, in interacting with all of his friends again. It showed him playing hockey out in his front yard with his friends, which included Rory, and it showed how Gabby was just watching and happy to see Charlie like back to his normal self. And then then it just like ended by just like zooming out of the street, showing that there's like a snowman on all the front lawns as the credits started to roll. So yeah, and that's how the movie ended. So yeah, so I definitely do like see like why people really do not like this movie. Like it's completely like understandable. Like it really does like it's not really written very well. It does get boring. It takes like a, just too long to get to the snowman, and and it's just like not really written that interesting. So I definitely do like see the problems with this movie, but like I was saying, just I guess I just kind of do have a soft spot for the movie because just seeing like how like just how disheartened Charlie gets after his dad dies, and just seeing like how he doesn't want to still be with his dad when he brings him back and everything. Like just seeing the father son connection between the two of them, I don't know, something about that really just like I do have a soft spot for. So while like I definitely like do not say that this movie really is good, it does like have some stuff that I do kind of like have a soft spot for. Like I said, I wouldn't like I if you really do like want to see like a like if you are looking for Christmas movies to watch, like this is definitely like probably not one that really is going to persuade you to watch, but like I was saying, like if you have a good relationship with your parent, or just if you can't really imagine something like that, like if them like getting like them dying when were young or something, like if you're just like looking for something to kind of like just like give you like just to learn how like even like if a parent dies they'll be with you in a form or another, this film will like show you that. So if you are like just like one of those people with a relationship with your parent and just are like just it would upset you if they died, then this could be a movie for you to check out. So all I can really say is just you can just draw your own conclusion to it. Like if you're curious enough, you can give it a watch and just draw your own conclusion to it. But I definitely do see like why there are people that really are not big fans of this movie. All right, so like I said, I give the film 2.25 stars out of 4. All right. So I guess that's all I can really say about it. All right, so this is from my review of 1998's Jack Frost. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.